Well, it's certainly an exciting time here for our players and coaches and our fans. It's an honor to be a part of this rivalry. You're very fortunate to be involved in something like this, in which in college baseball, it's a rarity to have sold-out parks and passionate fan bases and great energy in the stadiums. That's not the norm around the country. And for us to be able to be a part of that is truly it's a blessing for us. And a lot of our kids come to South Carolina to be involved in this rivalry, and I'm sure a lot of kids at Clemson go to Clemson so they can be involved in a rivalry like this. And a lot of our kids know their players, and they know each other. Obviously, we have a close connection with the coaching staff at Clemson as well, and it's just a great rivalry for college baseball. I think it's we love to be on this stage, our two programs, and I hate to speak for Clemson, but I'm sure they love being on this stage as well. And we're excited about the first pitch tomorrow night here at Founders Park. Should be a great atmosphere, sold-out stadium. I'm sure it'll be great energy, enthusiasm, and atmospheres in all three venues this weekend. But I'm sure it'll start that way tomorrow night here, and we got to play really, really good baseball to have a chance to be successful. They're very, very good looking at their numbers. They're very offensive. They got some really, really good hitters in the lineup. Barnes on Friday night can beat anybody. So we're certainly going to have our hands full with him, as well as their other pitchers. But it's on paper it looks like a very evenly matched series, and they certainly have good players. We feel like we have some good players, and it should be three competitive games.
Chad, I know it's early, but obviously, what have you liked about what your team has done so far, and is there anything particular you'll be looking for this weekend with the step up in competition?
Well, it's I've liked my team since August, to be honest with you. Just the way they've come to the park every day, the way they've practiced, the way they've gone about their business. It was certainly great to see them start the season off the way that we have, and the way and they reacted to competition the way I hope they would react, and they've played pretty darn well thus far. But it is 9 games. We do have a long season in front of us. We got some great challenges in front of us starting tomorrow. And yeah, when you get into a series like this, you look for those kids on your team that are going to raise their level of play, and that's certainly what it takes, because I'm sure Clemson's going to have their kids, some kids over there raise their level of play, and we have to be able to match that. And I got some new guys, so I hadn't seen them in a rivalry like this, so that's going to be fun to witness for me, and it's going to be I'll certainly know a lot more about my team after this weekend. But that being said, this is a great 3-game series to be a part of. It doesn't necessarily dictate what the rest of the season holds. It's 3 games, great competition, and is it more important than just your normal 3-game series? Yes, it is. I mean, there's no hiding that. It's an important 3 games. But if we have a tough weekend, it's not going to dictate the rest of our season. And if we have a great weekend, that's not going to dictate the rest of our season. I think I remember here in 2010, Clemson laid it on us pretty good at 19-6 and won that series. And I think we were the last team standing that year. So, it's 3 great games, three games that we're awfully lucky to be a part of. It's a great rivalry for college baseball, and we're looking forward to getting it started tomorrow.
Brian, then John, and then David.
You said during the summer that with Monty taking over, this Clemson-Carolina rivalry didn't need any more oomph to it, and it was just going to be the same. What are your emotions along those same lines entering this series?
Well, this is Clemson and South Carolina. It's not Chad Holbrook and Monty Lee. That's not what this is about. This is our players against their players, and it's going to be a great rivalry long after I'm gone, and it was a great rivalry long before I was here. And we respect and think the world of Monty and what he's accomplished as a coach, and he's been great for this program, obviously great for the College of Charleston, and he's going to do great things at Clemson. We respect him as much as you possibly can respect another coach. But at the same point in time, he wants to beat us like crazy, and we want to do the same. And that's just part of the rivalry. So when the 3-game series is over, we'll wish each other luck as best we can, and hopefully they have a great season. And there's no guarantee we don't meet down the road, So, but we know that they have some really good kids, really good players. They're coached the right way. We feel like we have some good kids and good players that are coached the right way too, and that's what makes this rivalry so intriguing.
You have some older guys and some younger guys who have been splitting time, given the, how big this series is. Do you look to play some of your older guys, or how do you balance the experience versus youth?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's fair and it's tough, and I don't know if I have the answer for you. I like to have older guys in a situation like this. I like the experience of having been in a tough environment or a big game atmosphere. You like to have experience on the field. That being said, I don't want to not put my best team on the field either. So there's a balance there, and I gotta make a few tough calls. But that being said, I feel good about 13 or 14 of my guys. I feel I can put them in there, and I feel great about how they'll react and how they'll play, and whether they're young or they're old. It'll be a first Clemson South Carolina series for a number of my players, and but I have the utmost confidence they're going to react the same way, whether they're a junior or a freshman. And I'm going to just try to put the best field I can put on the field tomorrow night with the matchup that we're facing. But I think we'll get contributions from a number of people, not necessarily, the ones that just start. There might be 3 different lineups. There might be one lineup all 3 games. I hadn't made that decision yet, but I think the depth of our team is one of our strengths, and I want to use our depth, because I think we can get contributions from a lot of people.
Chad, you mentioned this is going to be the first time you see a lot of your guys in this rivalry series. A lot of them aren't from South Carolina. Do you think they grasp what this series means to so many people?
Well, I think so. It's certainly been talked about a lot around campus and a lot in the media, and they've seen some of these games in the past, either in the NCAA tournament or in the College World Series, or, this rivalry gets a lot of national attention. So even though you're not from this state, I think our kids' ears have been perked up, this week, obviously, since we got on the bus on the way back from the Citadel, and they know it's a big series, and I don't have to say anything about it to those guys, whether they're from the state or not. Again, a lot of kids, and I don't hate to get on the recruiting side of things, but a lot of kids relish being a part of this rivalry, and that's why a lot of kids come to our 2 schools, and it's a neat thing to be a part of.
You mentioned Clemson's offense. What do you see in that lineup that makes them so formidable?
Well, they got some experience, and they're older in some spots, but they got the Beer kid that might be one of the best freshmen in the country as well. They got great balance. I mean, Weston Wilson is off to a great start, obviously, and he's a kid I tried to recruit, and he's doing extremely well. But Reed Rollman saw him a lot, obviously, and had a great year last year. I mean, they got great offensive numbers. They played really good defense up to this point as well. And then they got one of the best catchers in the country in Chris Oakey. So they're a balanced offensive team from top to bottom. And we're going to have to pitch very well and keep them at bay to have a chance to win. I think the key of the series is, as it is most of the time, no matter who you're playing, if you pitch and play defense, we're going to have a chance to win, and that's where we're going to start.
Chad, obviously Ray and Jack worked together to get this series in the format where it was. Do you, now that they're not here anymore, do you and Monty plan to sit down? Are you comfortable with where the series is now, or about or are there any ideas about moving it in the schedule, anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, I'd certainly be open to this, if they have any ideas, I would certainly be open to listening. I like the way that it is now. I think the 3-game series is very fair. You knock the 3 games out in one weekend, and then you move on to conference play, pretty much. So I like the way that it is now, but that doesn't mean it can't be tweaked going forward. And I'm not sitting up here saying I'm for that or against it. I would be open, if they have some ideas to play a fourth game or something, we'd sit there. We would certainly listen because we know it's a great event. And is 3 games enough? Maybe not. That's probably up for people way above my pay grade.
Coach, now that the rotations have been formalized for the weekend, are you, I guess I would say, happy that Clark and Klate aren't going head-to-head? You prefer that not be a factor
I'm
this
sure
weekend?
that sure would be great for y'all. I don't know if it would be great for Clayton and Clark. That would be a neat story. I mean, those are 2 great kids and a great family, and we're lucky to have one on our team. And obviously, Clate's an inspiration to his team, and it's that's a really, really neat family to have gotten to know. And with all that they've been through, and the love and respect that those 2 brothers have for each other, that's a special deal. And I'm sure that would be a great talking point if they were pitching against each other, and it would certainly gain a lot of attention from you guys as well as media from across the country. But I think I'm happy for both of them that they don't have to go through that it's just about their outing and their team, and they can pitch up to the best of their ability and not necessarily have to be stressed about what's going on in the other dugout.
I know you said it's only 3 games out of 56, but do you see this as kind of a bit of a measuring stick for you guys as far as where you are right now?
Well, I mean, yeah. Again, we're getting ready to play a good team. You're always measured when you play a really good team. You're always, you're always going to see what you have. You're going to see what adjustments you have to make going forward if it doesn't go well, or what it's more than just 3 games in some extent. It's because the importance of the rivalry. But that being said, I just revert back to the loser of this season's not over, and I know in 2010 our team used that as motivation and really went back to work and became a much improved team, and that's one of the neat things about a long season and playing 56 games is you have a lot of opportunities to show you're a quality team. And sometimes you might have a bad weekend. You can have a bad weekend and still win a national championship. That being said, it's 3 very, very important games, and we're excited about playing.
Chad, have you gotten any indication from Gamecock fans who they're going to ride now that Jack's not going to be out there on the field?
No, it's Clemson and South Carolina. I know this would never happen, and I probably shouldn't say this, but if Ray Tanner walked through there in a Clemson jersey, I'm sure our fans would get all over him too. So it's Clemson and South Carolina. There's no love lost there, and it doesn't matter. Coach Leggett's a Hall of Famer and was a great coach for a long period of time, and as is Ray Tanner, and that's. It's Monty and I are just trying to carry it on, and and he's going to put a great team on the field tomorrow, and I hope my team plays at a high level as well. And but it's a rivalry built on respect, and no one wants to. I mean, we both want to beat each other in the worst way, and that makes for great theater.
Coach, you talk about the emotions of this rivalry. How would you describe this atmosphere that your new guys are going to experience tomorrow? And do you want them to be charged off of it because it's electric, unlike any other game that they'll probably be in during the regular season here?
Well, that's what makes it fun. I mean, kids want to play in great environments and great atmospheres, and they're going to have that tomorrow night. And I hope we use it to our advantage. We've had some games here in which our fans were so loud and obnoxious, it was hard. They weren't going to let us lose. And, I hope our fans are like that tomorrow night, and I hope we give them something to cheer about, you know. And it can be a very, very difficult environment if we're playing at a high level and we're playing a great opponent. You know, so we are playing a great opponent. Now it's up to us to play at a high level and get the fans going and get the fans involved, and hopefully it will be a great home field advantage for us tomorrow. But that being said, you know, you got to play the game between the white lines. And as great as the atmosphere is going to be, that's not necessarily going to determine who wins or loses the game.
Any other questions for Coach Holbrook?
Thank you.